equals 27. You get the picture. And then he wrote 9 times 9 equals 90. And as he wrote that, the class broke out laughing. Einstein made a mistake. How could he make such a major error? They went on and on about it. Well, he let them have their fun. And when they were finished, he turned to them and said, "You have 9 equations in front of you. 8 out of those 9 are correct, and yet you can seem to only focus on the one that is wrong. How often do we only see the mistakes in ourselves or in someone else? We forget the positive, and it seems we can only focus on the error. However, nothing in life is perfect, and no one is perfect. Not only that, but the only way that you won't make a mistake is if you do nothing. So give yourself a break and give someone else grace if a mistake happens. We all need perspective and maybe a mental shift that reminds us, as the philosopher Voltaire once said, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good." You, class of 2022, you began your college journey during difficult circumstances and persevered despite the pandemic. But through those trials, there were glimmers of hope that also emerged as the best of humanity illuminated out of the darkness. And that humanity was you. That humanity is you. As Titans, you redoubled your commitment to eradicating systemic racism, to fighting for social justice. You spoke up and you spoke out. As future leaders of our nation, you have already accomplished so very much. And I am left so hopeful with what you will do going forward. So don't be afraid to reach outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to stumble or even fall. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. For it's through trial and error, as they say, that change comes, that difference is made, and that dreams are fulfilled. Before I close my time with you this morning, I want to share with you one more story. It's a story of an amazing American who died just recently at the age of 102. According to the LA Times, Johnny Jones Sr. was born on November 30, 1919 in Laurel Hill, Louisiana. He was born on a plantation to parents who were determined he would get an education. And he did. He graduated from Southern University, but then he was drafted into the Army in 1942, where he became the Army's first black warrant officer. During the landings in Normandy, his ship hit a mine, and he was blown from the second deck to the first deck of the ship, but that didn't stop him. After the war, Johnny returned home along with more than 1 million black soldiers. And Johnny remembers traveling home with all his fellow soldiers and then having to move to the back of the bus, separated from all those white soldiers he had stood shoulder to shoulder with at Normandy as the bus crossed the Mason-Dixon line. Not long after that, after returning from war, he was traveling down in Louisiana to get shrapnel removed from his neck. He was pulled over by a white officer and beaten for no apparent reason other than the color of his skin. But he was undaunted. He was determined, and he obtained his law degree, and he defended participants and students arrested in sit-ins in the South that were protesting against segregation. His car was bombed twice. He didn't stop. He went on to serve in the state legislature, and he continued to practice law and working for equity, equality, inclusion, and social justice until he was 93 years young. In 2020, the French government presented Johnny Jones with the Legion of Honor for what happened in World War II. And it took 77 years for our own country to recognize him at the age of 101 when he finally received his Purple Heart for the wounds he received on the shores of Normandy. Why am I telling you this story other than to honor this amazing American? Well, Johnny Jones is a story of intentional commitment. It is a story of despite the fiery furnace of injustice that surrounded him, it's a story of determination. He chose to use the racism that surrounded him as a fuel to defend the defenseless a foundation to fight for change, a motivation to fight for justice. He is a story of perseverance, belief, and action.
Yay.
To you, our newly minted graduates, I say, that is where you stand today. You too have overcome and are on the cusp of a journey to build a community, bring dreams to reality, and make change. So here is my charge to you today. Your time in college, it's been about discovering your mission, discovering your purpose, just as it should have been. But now you are graduating, and it's time to put that mission, that mindset into action, to make a difference. A watching world needs you. It needs your own brand of giftedness that each of you have. Your unanticipated, your unpainted masterpiece waits to be painted. Your undiscovered invention waits to be designed. Your impending discovery has people needing its cure. Your unwritten script, it seeks the writing of the future. Your voice is demanding to be amplified in defense of the defenseless, in protection of the unprotected. One final note, and I will sit down, I promise. Graduates, you are forever embodied in the fabric of what we love to call the Titan family. Given that legacy, I want to share with you some bragging rights, some facts that make Cal State Fullerton different, make it stand out as the amazing institution that you know it is. So, did you know that we are the largest undergraduate university in the state with more than 41,000 students? Did you know that we are #1 in California for graduating women? That we are #1 in California for graduating Latinx students? That we are #1 in California for graduating students of color? That we are #3 in the nation for graduating students of color and #3 in the nation for social mobility?
Yay.
That is your alma mater soon to be. That is your legacy. And now it's time for you to take your turn in the world. So, come back. Come back and visit us and be professor for a day. Give back to your alma mater with your finances when you can, but long before that with your time. Attend an athletic event. Go to our College of the Arts performance. Serve as an advisor for NSM, for student organizations. Wear your Titan gear wherever you go. Or if you dare, wear your Titan socks. I've got 40 pair of Titan socks. When you get 40, come see me. Wherever you decide to go, whatever you decide to do, remember that where you go, you take your Titan degree, and that can never, never, never be taken away from you. Cal State Fullerton will always be your home. Your fellow Titans, all of us, will always be your family. Thank you. And remember, it takes a Titan to do these things. And graduates, you are the Titans it takes. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Yay! Congratulations. Congratulations to all.
Thank you, President Virjee. At this time, we have the privilege